Going out to eat is always a treat, but sometimes that wine list can be intimidating. However, it's comfortable at steakhouses to go for a Napa Cabernet Sauvignon. It's kind of the go-to wine for everybody, but there are a lot more choices out there. I'm here at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse in Bonita Springs with Peter Hyzak. He's in charge of the wine list here, and he goes around all the tables, helps people find different selections, and figure out what to have with your steak. Thanks for joining us.
My pleasure. We're welcome. We're glad you're here.
Well, you know, Ruth's Chris is not just one place, and they have a corporate list, but you get to have a little wiggle room with some of it, right?
That is correct. We have 140 restaurants around the world, and we have wine professionals at headquarters who create a mandated wine list. But I have a little room to add selections that I enjoy and that I know my guests will enjoy.
So you get to do things, kind of tailor it to the local taste and what you like, because it's easier for you to communicate about things that you like better, right?
That is correct. That's correct.
So what do you have here that are alternatives to Cabernet Sauvignon?
Well, everyone loves the big fruit bomb cab, but that's not always applicable or with when you're eating a fatty ribeye steak, for instance. So what I've brought to the table today are more high acid wines and a blend, a California Napa blend, which utilizes the big Cabernet Sauvignon, but it mellows it out a little bit with some Merlot and a little Cab Franc, just to settle it down so it's not just full of fruit.
So these are some cab alternatives. You've got an Amarone del Valpolicella, correct?
That is correct, from Tomasi.
And Amarone is kind of big fruit?
Big fruit, raisin wine, as we say.
Yeah, because the grapes are dried, right?
And then pressed. Then I also have a baby Super Tuscan, which is a blend of Cabernet Sauvignon and Sangiovese, which I enjoy. These are both awesome wines with a fatty ribeye steak. These bring the earthiness of Europe, the old world wines, to a setting where, again, you're typically going to enjoy a Cabernet Sauvignon.
Yeah.
We have Hill Family. This happens to be a blend. This is a Napa Valley blend of Cabernet Sauvignon. This particular vintner grows grapes for some of the bigger Napa Valley wines, and he decided to go out on his own. So instead of selling grapes to Farniente, he's decided to create his own wines. This is a blend. This is mostly Cab, 80% Cab, some Merlot, and a little Cab Franc to soften it up.
Oh, okay.
So these are awesome alternatives to a big, juicy, sometimes over-the-top Cab.
Okay, so let's go over them one by one. Amarone. Amarone is a little bit, it's not light, but it's definitely not tannic.
No, and silky. This is a silky wine to me.
Yeah, and by tannic we mean the feeling that you get when you eat a grape and you accidentally chomp down on the seed. That feeling of astringency, that's really good when you have a real fatty steak. But this, because it doesn't have that, would probably be a nice one with maybe a fillet or something that doesn't have a lot of fat.
I would do a fillet or a New York strip, where again a leaner cut. But again, this is a silky, silky wine. It's been aged for a while. This is a premier, as far as I'm concerned, in Italian red wines in our portfolio. This is the big girl.
Yeah, that's a big one, and this could go right on through to a chocolate dessert.
Oh, I would do this right through the dinner. It would be awesome with chocolate.
Yeah, chocolate's great. Yeah, chocolate and Amarone, they're good friends. But this you said is a mini Super Tuscan.
Right.
So by that, in Tuscany, usually you have regional things that are Chianti and what is it? Brunello. And then the Montepulciano, the Rosso de Montepulciano, which I was just talking about. But this is a Super Tuscan. So that means it's not in a certain region, and it doesn't adhere to the guidelines of, for example, Chianti. But it has some of the grapes that you would recognize from other places, like Cabernet. So this has Cabernet and Sangiovese, correct?
This is the Italian. The Italians' attempt at keeping up with the Americans when we introduced the Meritage, the big blends, and France when they introduced the Bordeaux, which has been here forever. Yeah. They're taking their grapes that are indigenous to Tuscany, the Sangiovese, adding some, in this case, Cabernet Sauvignon to soften it a little bit and add a little different character. And this is a wonderful entry-level red blend, because it is a blend, from Italy.
And it's Sangiovese and Cabernet. So you have the Cab, so you have the big broad shoulders, but with Sangiovese you have a little bit more. It's known for acidity, correct?
That is correct, and that's what it brings to the party for that fatty steak. Yeah,
so that would be. Would this be ribeye guy?
I would go ribeye, although you know this is ribeye cheese. This is awesome with cheese.
Yeah.
But yeah, this on my menu, I would team this with a ribeye.
For sure.
Either a cowboy or our big 16-ounce ribeye.
Because of the brightness of that Sangiovese, this could possibly go with that chicken that you have with all the cheese in it. If you didn't want to do white, that could be an option.
And this is a young wine, which opens up beautifully.
Yeah.
Beautifully.
Nice. That was just my thoughts on the chicken because
That's
it's
okay.
good. And then this is the Hill family estate. Now this is primarily Cabernet, but it has, you said, Merlot and Cab Franc. This I think could go with any steak, correct?
Any steak.
Any one of them.
This is a very broad range wine that's very adaptable from the fillet right through the ribeye. Again, there's the cab acid in it and the fruit, but it's mellowed out a little bit by the Merlot and the Cab Franc, which is almost a Bordeaux blend.
Well, I really appreciate the time, and thank you for sharing these with us.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Nice to have you here.
It's been great.
Please.
Thanks for joining us.
Ching, ching.
Ching.